A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the day 3 of the South Asian Lawyers Cricket Cup. The past 2 days were plenty of good cricketing actions, and another day is awaiting for us, and another good cricketing actions are in store for sure. So before we get on with the game, let us look at the pitch and let us look at what is in store for the coming games.
Good morning, everyone. Yet another beautiful day in Colombo. We are at the Colts cricket ground playing the final day of the preliminary matches and the first ever Lawyers South Asian T20 tournament. It's very hot and it's sunny as well. I don't think there will be any threat of rain throughout the day. If you look at the wicket, it's been used for last 2 days, but I don't think there's nothing much. Nothing has changed much at all. If you look at the surface again, it's hard and firm. Little bit of dead grass on it, but it's not going to change much throughout the day. For batters, you will enjoy batting on this wicket, even though this has been used for the third consecutive days. But as you saw yesterday against the Lahore versus Bangalore, if bowlers willing to be disciplined, you will have rewards on it. Today's match is very important for Delhi. They won one, they lost one. So if they want to qualify for the semi-finals, they need to win. Not just they need to win, but they need to win with a higher run rate. So for them, it's they need to decide whether to win the toss and make a good score on the board and put pressure on Karachi, or they need to get them out for a cheap score and chase that in quick time. It's very important for the Group B. No one has secured a spot in the semi-finals. If you look at the points table, it's very clear. So, as I said, beautiful day, very interesting day, and Lawyers in the Lawyers T20 tournament.
Well, as you said, the pitch is looking pretty standard for a day of cricket, as well as the outfield and the atmosphere. So we will go ahead towards the decisive moment of the exposition of the game. We will look at what happened at the toss.
It's toss time here at the Colts Stadium in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and the boys are ready. I have Rahman here representing Karachi's team, and I have Aditya representing Delhi's team along with our fine umpires. Let's find out what the toss decides.
Heads. It is called. It is tail.
It is tail.
And ball first. You're gonna ball first.
All right, can I please have you here forward? So tell us your decision and why.
अभी फ्रेश विकेट है इसलिए हम लोग चेस करेंगे.
वही आपका डिसीजन है आपके प्लेयर्स के टीम के हिसाब से you've chosen the right decision.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All the best to you. Can I please have Rahman forward? Rahman, आपके decision would you have chosen differently?
No, I think I would have liked to bat as well, but I see that the wicket is the same from what we have played on. So I feel it's not going to change much. So yeah, even if we have a target to chase, I think it's going to be a good thing for us, and I feel it's a blessing in disguise.
All right, it's a blessing in disguise, and we'll wait and find out whether the odds are in which team's favor, who's going to bat, who's going to bowl. Let the games begin.
Well, you saw what happened at the toss there. The Delhi Giants won the toss and decided to ball first. And it has been working pretty well for them through the tournament. And right now, Shanu is down there with two guest speakers for a bit of a discussion there. So I would like to hand over the screen for Shanu. Shanu, your chance is now.
After 2 action-packed days, we are finally gearing up for day 3 here in sunny Colombo, Sri Lanka. It's the South Asian Lawyers Cricket Cup 2023. There was celebration, there were tears, but the boys aren't backing down from a fight. Delhi is desperately looking for that win to make it to the semis, whereas Karachi is battling for bragging rights. We'll find out today which team will be popping that champagne. But first, let's speak to a fine gentleman representing both teams. I have Raj from Delhi and I have Atif here from Karachi. First, let's ask Raj. Raj, you had slightly a shaky start, but happily you made it up in the previous game. What are you doing to cut that win today?
See, the first match was slightly tough because we have just landed at that time. But at present, if we win the match, we have good chances. But the main objective is to win, then we'll see the net run rate. And net run rate will count after the match of Karachi, and then we will see that what works out. But the main thing is to win the match today.
It seems quite tough and challenging already as it is. So, how are you lining up the boys to make that win?
The boys are geared up because of the yesterday's win, and it was a good win for us. And we are very hopeful that we'll win today. And once we go through this, then I'm damn sure that we will be popping up the champagne, as you said.
But he's not giving us any insight into the strategy or formation. But let's find out from Atif over here. Atif, tell us, we understand it's been a rocky tournament this time, but definitely this win is crucial. You have to go home with your head back held high. How are you planning to do this?
We need to take something positive back home, and that's why we have planned to play a positive cricket, especially within the circle, which we were unable to utilize in the previous two matches. And the second thing is the weather is a big opponent for us because we are not used to this weather. So hopefully boys will do better in this game and give a tough time to Delhi.
Well, like you said, giving a tough time to Delhi, especially the batting lineup, is going to be quite a task because they come very strongly in terms of batting. How are you planning to counter that?
Yeah, we have good bowling attack and we are depending on our bowling, and the bowling department is the one department which has consistently did very well, and we hope they repeat their performance today as well, and we will hopefully win the match.
Well, time will tell which team, like we said, will be popping that champagne or will be celebrating anyway. Back to the commentators.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, those were few words from two players of both sides that are participating in this game. And again, we'll like to start off the commentary saying good morning to everyone, viewers from around the world and of course in Sri Lanka as well. I'm accompanied by my fellow commentator, Farviz Adnan. Farviz, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Minindu. Lovely skies here in the Colombo outskirts, and beautiful conditions for a day of cricket. Two really good teams going against each other. Even though both the teams didn't have quite the best start for the tournament, Delhi Giants managed to give a very good comeback against Mumbai yesterday back at the BRC grounds. And as I saw, I was commentating that match as well. As I saw, they had corrected almost all their mistakes that they made against the Colombo Titans at the first game, because their batting lineup was extremely strong. Everybody were scoring more than 20 runs in the games, and I do hope that we'll be able to watch a very exciting game here in Colombo today.
Yeah, definitely, Farviz. I mean, looking at Karachi Lawyers right now, 2 defeats back to back. So I think it's a tough thing to say whether they'll have a chance to go into the cup semi-final. But of course, Delhi Giants, they still have a chance to secure their place. So they will be looking to secure a win with a higher net run rate in this game. So I think. So what do you actually have to say about the toss, the decision that they took, and the decision of bowling first in this kind of a wicket?
Very well played on the offside. Over the head of the covers fielder, all the way for a boundary. That will be the first boundary for the Karachi Lawyers in this fine morning. And coming back for your question, Minindu, I think the Delhi Giants made the right decision there, because it occurred to me that they seem to bat a bit better with their deep lineup when they have a target in their head, when they have an approach towards what sort of a target that they are looking to chase, Because in the first match, there was no strategic play from the batsman at all. They were cheaply out for 119, and that did not quite look well for them. But with the chasing, I think they have more of a solid approach towards chasing the target. So I think from Delhi's perspective, they did the right thing, because the pitch is also still fresh. I think they will be able to capitalize on this pitch, but it's still soon to say.
Well, of course, they are sticking to their strengths from the start itself. It's a good decision. I mean, considering your answer, that means they have taken a good decision in bowling first. The Karachi Lawyers, the batting that they have showed in the game against Mumbai and, of course, against Colombo Titans, I would say it's a rather below average performance by them. But I think this game they are looking to actually show the other teams why they are actually participating in this tournament and what kind of a side they are. They're showing their depth. They're showing the arsenal of players, the potential they have in changing games around in this tournament.
Try to loft it and successfully beats the fielder on the mid-on and raises away for a boundary once again. That will be the second boundary of this over.
Of course, if you talk about Jaidesh, you certainly remember the knock he played against Colombo.
Of course.
In that last over. He's a brilliant of an all-rounder, I would say. Definitely a valuable asset for Delhi Giants.
And also his bowling was very consistent again against Mumbai yesterday as well. So we should mention that as well. So he would be a star man for Delhi if he utilizes his strengths correct in this game.
Yeah, of course, Varveez. I mean, just not a good start to this over yet. 8 runs from coming out of it. Just 2 more deliveries left. This time, it's up in the air. Fielders coming under it. Will it be taken? No.
Falls in between the two fielders. Didn't quite judge it yet. But that would be an extremely expensive mistake.
Of course, when the ball is high in the air and in a situation like this, the communication between the two fielders who are converging onto it has to be on point. So I think no one called it mine in that situation.
Well, that fell right in between them. As you can see, there was a miscommunication, of course.
Well, depending on the other fielder. Oh, crunched. That's gone high in the air, but I think that's 2 bounces and goes over the boundary line.
The third boundary comes for this over. And it is the end of the second over. And it's 17 for no loss.
Well, Karachi is not going to hold back for a race. I mean, looking at the intent they came out with, they're definitely going to utilize this power play they have been given.
Humayun Hanif having the right intent from the beginning of the inning itself. Trying to loft those balls over the infield. Trying to take the maximum out of the power play. The skipper himself with the ball now.
Well, I think it's the first time a spinner has been introduced inside the power play. So what do you have to say about the decision that they made?
Well, from their perspective, I think they are trying to use that drift against the right-hander because there's a bit of an air flowing towards the pavilion, whereas the spinner will be able to drift it away from the right-hander. But we'll see what the pitch has to offer as well. A brilliant delivery. I wonder how that missed the stumps.
I wonder how the keeper missed the opportunity for a stump in. Have to be aware and have to be on point in these kind of games, especially in a format like this. You can clearly see the back foot was, of course, not creased.
You could see initially there was a bit of a drift away from the right-hander, and there was a bit of a spin as well. So the pitch is doing its magic. The
He
conditions
was trying to play it against the spin, but didn't actually calculate the trajectory.
Once again, Aditya maintaining that tight length and line, making it extremely hard for the batsman to free his arms.
So that's the end of the third over. Karachi Lawyers are 18 for no loss.
Lofted on the onside. And that time it's taken by the captain himself. Smart approach from the fast bowler, going for that quick, short delivery on the offside.
Of course, Imam didn't middle it properly. Played it straight into the hands of mid-on there. And Jaidesh is amongst the wickets. I would say the man of the Delhi Giants, I would say. The man who was always involved in the game at every decisive moment. And this is the breakthrough that they got. These two are looking very comfortable at the crease. And yeah, straight into the hands. Didn't time it whatsoever. I think came right out of the toe end of the bat.
And that wasn't the right shot to go for that delivery either. He should have lofted it on the offside, above the head of the covers region. But instead he decided to go for that hook, which went straight up in the air and finally collected by the captain himself at mid-on. That was the fall of the first wicket.
Don't stop. Come quick. Come quickly.
New man walk into the middle to adjoin
Yes, correct. Next up.
the said batsman.
Five more to come.
Once again a good delivery, but worked it on the offside for a single. Oh, a bit of a fumble.
Of course, this was the single that was taken. He didn't even crease it. If it had been a direct hit, that would have been a goner.
Well, yesterday in the match against Bangalore versus Lahore, there were a bit of a extremely impressive direct hits. The fielder at covers, he was magnificent. At least took 3 direct hits, and one of them was a brilliant run out. So you can never know. Always be safe out there in the middle, I'd say.
Well, it was unfortunate of me to miss that game.
It was definitely unfortunate of you, because that was an extremely interesting game. And the Lahore Lawyers comfortably found their victory towards the semi-finals. And unfortunately for the Bangalore team, they were not quite making it towards the target that they wanted. But in the end, the team with the least amount of mistakes win the game, so can't quite complain either.
Played it straight to mid-off there, so only 2 deliveries left. So far, it's been a good over by Jaidesh. A wicket and a single coming out of it.
There's a bit of an outswing to be observed here in this partially humid morning.
I wouldn't say partially. It's really humid out here.
I mean, defense. Is it going to be a wide? Yes, it is a wide. Jaidesh will have to bowl that one again.
Of course, these past 2 days, rain didn't actually play the spoil sport. I mean, these times of the year in Sri Lanka, the monsoon rains comes out, and I think usually whenever the games of cricket are being played during these months, most of the time they are going to get interrupted. But it's fortunate for all the cricketing fans to watch this encounter take place without any interruption at all.
Once again, another wide. Jaidesh sort of struggling to find his rhythm once again.
Well, he's sticking to the plan of bowling it right outside the off stump, but
Doing it a bit too much
yeah,
that occasion.
the swing is carrying it away.
Oh, it's on! Oh, that was a very expensive mistake by the wicketkeeper. It was a sitter for the fielder at the slips.
I think that would have gone straight into the hands of the
Straight
first
into
slip.
the hands of the slip.
He
It
just
was
tried to. I mean, yeah, they know what they did. Definitely, that was a chance to
the
dismiss
wicketkeeper
them.
was attempting to get that screamer. I mean, it would have been amazing if we hung on to it, but unfortunately, that attempt costed them
Of
being
course,
very expensive.
that was also the edge of Humayun Hanif, the said batsman for the Karachi Lawyers right now, and
Jaidesh not quite happy about that one.
of course, no one is.
That was a beautiful delivery inviting the batsman for the drive, but the bowler did all the right things, and the men behind the wickets make the mistakes.
Yeah,
Now-
6 runs coming out of it. End of the over. It's 25 for 1. They're going to take a quick single. Place it down leg and will pick up another single as well. Another misfield and they'll come back for 2. Those kind of misfields you cannot afford. You're giving the opposition side a chance of getting comfortable in the crease. You're increasing their chance actually.
Nicely swept on the onside. Will he go all the way? Yes, it will. No one to protect that on the deep fine leg region. A mistake made by the skipper there, Vinidu.
I would say actually he was trying to guide the ball with the bat. No foot placement whatsoever, I would say. It's almost like, yeah, you can clearly see the shot that he played.
A cheeky shot, but in the end,
Effective.
effective. So far, the power play looks 50-50 for the both teams.
Another wicket for Delhi Giants, and I would say they will dominate it.
Well, they are going for a classic field here. One deep mid wicket. Oh, that was crunched. Over the head of the bowler. Will he go all the way for a maximum? Yes, it will. Beautiful shot to end the over off. The batsman would be ecstatic about that one. Middling it off the bat.
Of course, he's a new batsman as well.
The confidence is impressive. Bindu.
Definitely. I mean, that's what the dressing room and the management will be looking forward to. The new batsman to get adjusted to the wicket. And if he plays strokes like this from the start itself, just imagine what he can do when he plays another 4 overs or so.
So far, he looks pretty settled, but one expensive mistake and he's gone. Well, he has to stick to his consistency. He has not made any mistakes so far. Jaidesh continuing his spell.
Cuts it away. True point.
Oh,
Will it reach
beautiful
the
shot.
boundary? And it will guide itself over the line. The outfield is quick in some areas of this ground. The other parts, like I said before, the grass is much denser.
Definitely not on that sector though, but even though if the grass was tense on that occasion, it should have still gone for the boundary because that was a very good hit.
Always a very good shot should be given a reward.
Absolutely. Jaidesh going a bit too short and wide there, allowing the batsman to free his arms.
He knows that he got the opportunity to dismiss Humayun, but they couldn't grab it. This time, fall safe, force it in front of mid-on there. Another opportunity it would have been, but I would say the fielder couldn't cover the ground that he was supposed to cover.
Humayun once again trying to loft it over the 30-yard.
Okay. Yep, leg stump. Correct. Right arm over.
Another quick single will be taken, so they're rotating the strike well. So
Well,
for
one
6
thing-
runs.
One thing I've noticed about Iraq Minindu is he's not quite creasing his bat when he runs. He just sails over the crease, and he's not minding the direct hit at all. He's taking it for granted, maybe.
Well, I remembered a dismissal like that, and that's gone to the boundary as well. Just 3 bounces, pulled it away brilliantly. And the sound it made right when it came out of the bat, you can clearly say that it was middled properly. The fielder couldn't do anything about it. And of course, Jaidesh, a poor delivery, I would say this one. A little bit short, allowing the batsman to extend his arms and play through the square leg region. You talked about Aibak not creasing his bat properly whenever he makes a run. I remember the dismissal like that when India came to tour Sri Lanka in 2017. As I remember, it was the first ODI, and Rohit Sharma, he was taking the run to the non-strikers end, and the Wanidu Hasranga so far, the man in form for Sri Lanka, he took the chance. He was at short mid-wicket. He actually threw a direct hit at the non-strikers end, and Rohit Sharma had actually covered the ground, but he couldn't crease the bat.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Once again sliced on the offside. Will it go for a boundary? No, there's enough protection on the off at sweeper covers, and that would be the end of the 6th over. 51 for the loss of 1.
Number 11. Arde. That's one. Second power play start. Scorer. Scorer. Scorer.
The umpire marks the end of the first power play.
So, who would you say actually came up on top inside the power play?
I would say it was the Karachi Lowers because the bowlers were being too expensive. To be honest, it was Jaidesh who was letting loose, and the Karachi Lowers absolutely dominated it, and they took all the chances that they can get, made use of those mistakes that the fielding unit made, And so far they're looking so good, but we have seen that in a lot of matches where the team who dominated the power play didn't quite get it towards the end. So it's still too quick to say, but as for the game stands now, I think Karachi Lawyers are on top.
If Delhi had taken that catch of Hanif, then I would say the things would have turned, the tables would have turned around. They would have been on top after the end of the power play, but yeah, it's a game of cricket. Always the luck. I think luck plays a huge role in this game as well.
As much as people would like to do, would not like to admit it,
Yeah.
luck plays a huge role.
Oh, that's another misfield, and but certainly wouldn't cost them another run. The single had already been taken. So this projected score is 165 right now if they keep on going like this. So far, a score like that haven't been made in this tournament yet, but who knows? We'll be able to see much more in the coming games. Much more of the things that we haven't seen yet. Oh, that's gone. That's castled. You miss, I hit. And that hit right in the middle stump. The top of the middle stump, I would say. He actually mistook it for a short delivery. It came a little bit low. I think around the hip level. Look at that. Of course, the extra bounce that he was expecting didn't come out of it. Just completely missed that. And yeah, he has to take the long walk back.
Lee was looking to play it on the up.
And of course, it's a set batsman for Furvies, Humayun Hanif, the man the Karachi Lawyers would have liked to stay at the crease. Another drawback for the Karachi Lawyers. They were looking brilliant after the end of the power play. These two were getting along well, scoring some boundaries, scoring the gaps.
Hurry up, boys, hurry up.
And of course, it's Madhav, the new bowler who was introduced into the attack. Gets the vital wicket of Humayun Hanif. They were unable to do so with that catch missed by the keeper, and of course the slip cordon as well.
Well, on that occasion, you don't need to appeal. No, you need to expect a fielder to take the catch. So, successful Madhav in that occasion.
Stop. Box में right arm होगा.
Just a chip onto the leg side, and will pick up a single. So the new batsman. Last two deliveries of the over. Oh, brilliant. Misses the outside edge completely. It's been a good over so far by Madhav, introducing the attack and starting off his spell.
Doing justice for the skipper who introduced him to the attack. That is always what the skipper expects of you when it comes to a vital situation like this. He was put on a huge pressure on his shoulder as well, because they just came out of the power play, which was not so favorable for them. And so far, Madhav is the man in action. Once again with that decent delivery outside the off stump, which will only allow the batsman to go for a single, and that would mark the end of the 7th over. It would be 54 for the loss of 2. Well, of course, the bowling scorecard of the Delhi Giants. Jaidesh and Madhav among the wickets, even though Jaidesh is not looking too good about his economy, with an expensive economy of 11 per over. Aditya, on the other hand, the skipper, has been a bit consistent with his bowling with an economy of only 6 runs per over. We are into the 8th over. Vishal has been introduced into the bowling attack. We'll see what he has in the closet for the Delhi Giants.
Oh, plays it through the offside this time, but there's protection out there in the deep. So far, that's the end of the over there. Apologies. Zubir is on strike. Another single will be taken. So, I mean, they're utilizing those chances very efficiently, don't you think, Farviz? Not letting any dot deliveries be conceded in their overs.
Well, definitely mean they are not letting loose of their game at all. All the opportunities that they get to collect at least a single, they do it exactly right. So, if they keep on with this rate, they might be a real threat for the Delhi Giants, for them to have a comfortable score to chase down in the second inning.
This time shifted towards to third man there through the gully region. And the 3 deliveries left in the over so far. 3 runs coming out of it. So 2 bowlers have been introduced into the attack from the 2 ends. The first one was Madhav, now Vishal is introduced.
That's a very good delivery on the offside. Coming across the left-hander. Absolutely no chance for him to free his arms. Flies past him towards the wicket keeper there. Good bounce of the ball as well.
Would you say the over-the-wicket tactic to the left-hander would be effective in the end?
Well, I think so, Mindu, unless you have 135 plus pace in these conditions. This is the best way to go, because coming across a batsman is extremely hard for the batsman to utilize. But on that occasion, he capitalizes and works it on the offside for the gap, and will raise all the way for a boundary.
Another opportunity for you to cut off 3 runs, I would say. But in the end, it went to the boundary. So these misfields, if they continue to happen like this, I would say Karachi Lawyers will get on with the game.
Well, for the Delhi Giants, this game is extremely decisive. So they should not let let go of their string,
The string of hope.
the string of hope indeed. And the kite named Hope might fly away if they let loose more than anticipation. Last ball of the over.
A little bit of fumble there.
A bit of a fumble, and with a good delivery, that would be the end of the 8th over. It's 61 for 2. The scorecard of the Karachi Lawyers so far. Humayun Hanif being on top with 38 runs off 24 balls with a very good strike rate of 158.33. I think he's so far the only star who has shined throughout these innings. There's been 8 overs so far. There's still time for them, and there's still hope for them to show their colors.
Ready to ball, you have to ready. Batsman you have to ready. That's the law. That's the law.
Sorry.
Please support to give.
Yeah, of course. I apologize.
Crunched on the offside, but oh, there was a bit misfield at long off. That would be very expensive for them. That was a powerful hit. The ball will lead itself towards the boundary on that occasion. A good counter from the bowler. Just short and quick, not allowing the batsman to free his arms. Once again, a similar delivery. Iraq not quite going for that back foot there, just staying stationary and rotating his swing.
I would say it's a good comeback by Madhav after that boundary was scored against him. A lovely bowling action he has. A classic fast bowler's bowling action where it helps him to bowl those perfect line and length that he's expecting to bowl to.
I was about to mention that as well. Mindu, his bowling action is very clean, very smooth. A semi-on action, pretty straightforward arm rotating, which will allow him to comfortably catch onto that good line and length. His technique is immaculate. With better conditions, he might be able to swing the ball both ways with his prominent wrist position. Once again, very good on the offside.
So far, he's actually unplayable, I think, for the batsmen who are in the middle. So he's troubling them at the moment. So a wicket would come by anytime soon.
Well, even the first boundary that went off of his over was not his mistake entirely. So as you could see once again, more of a front on leg positioning, I would say. Switches up between very fine semi on and front on there.
This reminds me of the bowling action of Nuwan Kulasekara.
Once again, oh, that was so close. The bowler wouldn't be so happy about that one. That was a very good delivery on the offside. Short and quick on the correct line. But unfortunately for him, no one to collect that.
I wouldn't say that was a premeditated shot by the batsman at that moment. Tried to actually notch it through the slips, but the slip cordon was not in place actually.
Well, good thinking from the batsman though. Good awareness of the field, I would say. That would be the end of the 9th over, ladies and gentlemen. 69 for 2.
Ready? Ready? सही लगा शाबाश
Lofted on the offside. There's a chance once again. Another chance dropped. What is going on there?
The Delhi Giants, they haven't been perfect in the field at all today. I'm pretty sure that would cost them.
That would cost them big time, Minindu.
In the latter stages of this match. 2 catches, I would say, have been dropped. I think 3 catches, as I remember.
So far, it has been 3 catches. 3 absolute seaters.
Those should be held on to, of course. I mean, those chances, they don't come by every often.
But this time it has been happening often, but not quite capitalizing on them, Minindu. How do you think this will result for them?
Well, we'll have to see in the last few overs of this second innings. We would have to see if that actually costs them.
Well, still the run rate is looking prominent for the Karachi Lawyers. Still can go for that 150 mark.
But of course, that was the wicket of Aiba, the man after Hanif, who has settled into the crease.
A good delivery by Vishal on that occasion.
Plays it down the ground this time. It will be 2 bounces and will go over the rope. Another boundary for the Karachi Lawyers. They are in form, I would say, for a couple of drop catches, and I'm pretty sure they're more comfortable in the crease, knowing that the fielding mindset isn't on point today.
On that occasion goes outside the stump to allow himself to free those arms. Big swing, big strong swing. And succeeds to loft it over the head of the infielders towards the boundary.
It's high in the air. Will it cover the ground to go over the rope? But it just...
I think the fielder on the long on should have ran towards the catch, but
it's quite unclear from this angle.
Quite unclear from
what
this
happened
angle
at that
indeed.
moment. But as we saw, I think it was a diving effort by the field at long on, but I was unable to field at long off. Apologies.
It would have been more comfortable if the long on ran to that catch, but another opportunity.
This time I would say the long on fielder would. Actually, no. I thought that would be a comfortable.
Save for him.
Yeah.
But once again, Ibak manages to dispatch it towards the boundary, and that is the end of the 10th over. We are halfway through this innings, and it is 80 for 2.
Of course, if you look at the innings so far by the Karachi Lawyers, Humayun and of course Alisha Rizvi, both of them contributing with 30s to the scorecard. Two prominent batters for Karachi Lawyers, and of course Alisha Rizvi still on the crease alongside Zubairi. I'm pretty sure if we stick on for another, I would say 2 to 3 overs, he would go and get some more runs in those death overs. So far they're cruising along well. In the first half of their innings, they scored 80 for the loss of 2 wickets.
The run rate is still looking prominent for them at the current run rate of 8, exactly 8. If they keep on with their current pace, they will definitely end up scoring at least 160.
So far plenty of mistakes have been made by Delhi Giants. Mistake by mistake, they are actually taking away the chance of getting into that semi-final spot.
If only those attempts were successful, this bowling scorecard could have looked very different. Only 2 wickets scalped by Jaidesh and Madhav. And Vishal and Jaidesh not quite in the figures with when it comes to the terms of economy. 9 and 11 respectfully. And so far it has been a very hard time for them with the missed opportunities.
11th over to be bowled, and of course a new bowler has been introduced into the attack, Shikhar.
A good delivery from him, full and towards the off stump. It's an outside edge by Zubairi. It will go towards the third man region for a single.
Correct, center. Bola kami right arm out to.
Comes down the track and plays it through the offside, and he will get the reward for that. That was hammered through the cover region.
Absolutely crunched. Came down the track and punished the ball. It was not a bad delivery either.
The ball was pounded.
Pounded, exactly, that's the word. Through the extra covers, absolutely no chance for the fielders. No one to protect that. It will raise away and firmly hit the discussion box.
That's what the Karachi Lawyers, the batters, have been doing all day. Hitting it with much more power, much more brute. Goes down the track once again. This time it will be taken. And it's the set batsman once again walking back to the dugout.
Finally for the Delhi Giants, they have been able to hold on to a catch, which will reward them with the loss of the set batsman. Aibak didn't quite connect with the ball there.
A brilliant catch, I would say, at point. So Karachi Lawyers, the third wicket goes down for them for just 85 runs. Well, we still got 10 more overs to go, Farviz. Tables can turn. There's still time for that. I mean, anyways, these players, they're actually veterans of this game. They know their game. They know how it should be played. And they have experienced these kind of situations before when they were actually in their golden eras in their cricketing careers.
New batsman joins in the middle with just 3 more deliveries to go in this over.
But I noticed that whenever a new bowler was introduced, wicket always comes around. Do you think it's just a matter of coincidence, or does something come into play?
Well, that could be the switch up of the bowler being the reason, because always a new bowler introduced, the batsman has a bit of a hesitation. He needs to read the bowler first, and Karachi Lawyers batsman, instead of sitting back a little bit and reading the bowler, immediately started to approach the ball and tried to be aggressive with it. That could have been the reason that they lost their expensive wickets. But Shikhar strikes in that occasion. A good ball, thrashing into the right-hander.
Well, he's got good extra bounce. I mean, he's getting that extra bounce, and he's got a decent pace, I would say, Shikhar Chaudhary. A wide has been called by the leg umpire there. The bowler was not really happy about it.
That decision.
A little bit of a controversial decision, I would say.
The bowler thought it was a fair delivery. Oh, very good delivery on the offside. Completely beat the new batsman there. Flying past it outside edge.
Trying to play it through the covers. Hanif Shahzad, the new batsman, in.
That delivery was a bit too short for him to play through covers. Not the correct approach. Going for that shot in that occasion.
Final 2 deliveries. This time an outside edge, I would say. Goes past to third man.
That would conclude the end of the 11th over. 87 for the loss of 3. New bowler has been introduced to the attack. Varun with the 12th over. That was work towards the offside, towards sweeper cover for a single. They're going with a classic T20 death overs field set here with 5 on the line.
Center.
Sweeper covers long on, long off. Deep mid wicket and deep square leg. Since
Raja Varun.
the two batsmen in the middle are a right-hander and a left-hander, they will have to constantly switch their field positioning
Well ball. Shabash,
as long
shabash.
as they are rotating the strike. Varun was extremely lethal yesterday against Mumbai. Took 2 quick wickets, extremely important wickets of 2 star players with good strategic bowling.
Goes to the back foot and plays it through mid wicket.
Varun. Raja Varun.
Cuts it away, and I think there's protection out there in the deep. The fielder, of course, football comes into play in in a game of cricket in these kind of moments.
And successful attempt. This foot.
राजा आगे से आने दे जरा. घूमेगा.
Lofted it on the offside. Oh, a misfield by the fielder once again. These misfields have been costing them a lot in this innings so far.
And those midfields will actually help the Karachi Lawyers batsmen to gain those confidence. Gain the confidence they actually need in order
Easy
to
2
set up
more
a...
runs, Minidu.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he should have done more to prevent that. Just didn't actually have the right balance to stop it. I think a football player would have actually secured secured at least 3 runs. The GOAT wouldn't have been proud of it.
Going for that appeal, but the umpire thinks it was pitching outside leg. That is the end of the 12th over. It's 95 for the loss of 3.
A good full length delivery, I would say, but this time they're going to come back for 2. Good running between the wickets. Well, of course, they're trying to hit the long boundaries and taking those 2s and singles, and if possible, there could be chances of 3 runs being taken. But right now, at the moment, we haven't seen 3 runs being taken. A good comeback there by Shikhar. This time, it's high in the air, but I think and it's taken, of course. Another wicket goes down. For a while, it looked like it will fall between the 2 fielders who were converging onto it. But this time, it's actually taken. The fielder had to run back. Those types of catches are never easy. but he was able to hold on to it. And another wicket goes down for the Karachi Lawyers. He has a brilliant catch. And it's of course another drawback for the Karachi Lawyers, when it looked like they were going on well. The Giants are coming back into the game. Still plenty of overs. I would say another approximately 7.5 overs left. They can still come back into the game and still do some actions to actually secure a place in the semi-finals.
Too much.
Hanish Shahzad is still at the crease.
Beat the point. Helmet. No. This is compulsory. Safety first. Safety. This is right now? Yes. Okay. Right arm go. Yeah. Remote to up. Pace से आ रही है, vigilant होके. Relax sir. Relax.
Well, of course, Shikhar Chaudhary. Another wicket to his name. He's been effective for the Delhi Giants. A short run up, but balls it. Oh, that's another shout. Will it be given? No. The umpire thinks that's missing the leg stump or the height. Maybe the reason for this. It's a good delivery. Angle it straight into the right-hander. A good delivery, actually, I would say, to bowl to a new batsman who is fresh into the crease. This time plays it to third man. A single will be taken.
Last ball.
Now a few more overs left in the game. Apologies, left in the innings.
Nasi played on the offside towards the third man for a single. Safely collected at the line.
Still, Karachi Lawyers have some power hitters waiting to come into the middle. I'm pretty sure they're going to be quite efficient in those last few overs. And of course,
Very hot
very
conditions
hot.
here in Colombo, Minidu.
Fatigue is enemies bound to set in for the players. And this in playing cricket in these kind of climates, it's never easy. The sun is actually shining brightly on the Colts cricket ground here in Colombo. So again, I would say no rain in store. It's Varun once again into the attack. A full toss. This time, will it go to the boundary? Good work by the fielder there. And
Covers good ground and prevents it from going all the way to the boundary. Will safeguard 2 runs, which can be a huge deal on the Delhi Giants' perspective. It's currently the 14th over that is on. Varun with the delivery.
full once again. This time played it through offside. And this might run away to the boundary, and it will. And once again, it's not a good delivery at all.
It was a bit too full, allowing the batsman to place it wherever he pleased. And the batsman places it correctly. Another 4.
Played it right through the gap.
There was absolutely no chance of the fielder as sweeper covers to cover that was there. A bit too wide on that occasion, but the length safeguards him, making sure it does not connect well with the bat. 3 more deliveries to go in this over.
Tasha Varun.
Once again, the batsman not quite sure whether he should be on the front foot or the back foot to approach that delivery.
Tasha Varun.
That is a
Cha,
length
cha,
that
cha,
you
Bharat.
should be looking to bowl in a T20 game. That was a test. Would have just left that delivery alone. Oh, pretty close. Trying to take the aerial route there. Hanif.
But completely misses that one. The keeper does a good job, but I think he has.
Well, Minu, then also I think we should comment on the fact that a dot ball means a lot when it comes to the shortest format of the game.
Definitely. That's a shout by Varun. Thought that it had nicked the bat. But that's the end of the over. 14 overs gone, and the Karachi Lawyers, they have passed the 100-run mark for the loss of 4 wickets.
Once again, a mistake on the field, attempting that soccer approach, but she'll run away for the boundary once again. Shikhar will not be too happy about that one. Meanwhile, the batsman will say thank you very much for that.
2 boundaries in 2 overs here for the Karachi Lawyers.
शाबाश देख के
Oh, an extremely lethal boundary there. Bamboozled the batsman,
Like I said before, Shikhar has a short run up, but
but
the man
fires in
delivers.
fireballs.
Definitely.
Indeed. Making it really hard for the batsman. I bet the batsman.
This man is hitting the deck with all his strength.
Oh, he's not even wearing a helmet.
That's really dangerous.
Extremely dangerous.
Another quick single will be taken, not timed at all.
I think he was desperate to get off strike there a minute ago.
A valiant effort, I would say, by the bowler himself. Of course, this was a single that was taken. A slip there by the bowler.
You must wear a helmet. I don't like wearing helmet. Safety first. Huh? Safety first. I know. Just because of this.
Well, that was a good delivery.
Well, Shikhar has been really economical in this game. 2 for 16 runs so far. Of course, the fatigue is actually setting in for him,
Fatigue is giving him a very hard time.
but he's mustering up all his strength and playing the game he loves the most.
In all honesty, this Colombo heat is not as enjoyable if you are playing a game outside under the sun for an extended amount of time. It could be nice for a beachside tan, but certainly not for a game of cricket.
If you stay without a fan or an AC for an hour, that means you have done a workout.
आखिरी बॉल है इसकी
Oh, once again a good delivery, but the batsman gets lucky there with an outside edge that will raise away for a boundary.
We saw plenty of shots like those where it was in time perfectly.
As you said, Minindul, the luck is with Karachi Lawyers in this fine morning. It is the end of the 15th over. It's 1-1-5 for the loss of 4. If you look at the bowling scorecard, Shikhar Chowdhury has been the most impressive with an economy of 7, grabbing 2 wickets of the Karachi Lawyers batting attack. Jaidesh still has 1 over to go, and the Delhi Giants will decide to stick with Varun. Thrashed on the onside. Oh, brilliant effort on the field. Extremely good. He'll safeguard 2 runs for his team. Now this is something new from the Delhi Giants. That execution was perfect.
Of course, without that dive, that would have gone past the rope. Brilliant effort. Knowing that these final few runs are going to be crucial for them whenever they are going to chase this down.
Well, the fielder showed the correct intent, trying to limit the Karachi Lawyers as much as they can. Power play. The Karachi Lawyers capitalization has been immaculate, with an assistance from the cheeky misfields that were made, but still I would say they are on the upper hand with a projected score of more than 150 runs with a current run rate of 7.70. That's a good delivery. Rahman going to the back foot, trying to work it on the onside. And also he has to keep in mind that Varun is a very good strategic bowler. He knows what he is doing.
Full once again. Bowled it right outside the off stump.
He's
Good
switching up
tactic.
his line, Minindu. He's switching up his line here and there.
Thought the
Absolutely.
batsman would come down the track and
Exactly.
play it, but
Even yesterday he was bowling exactly according to the field placement, so I would say he's an extremely talented man. Once again towards the leg side.
a quick single will be taken
Switching
there.
things up.
A good over, I think, after a while for the Delhi Giants. So far, the past few overs, there was always a boundary conceded in that.
There's one more delivery to go. Hope he didn't jinx that.
I think for the past few games, I was always acting as a jinx.
Exactly, the commentator's curse has been a real thing. Oh, once again, going for that offline.
A brilliant over by Varun, and that's the end of the 16th over. Karachi Lawyers 119 for 4.
Number 27.
Of course, the partnership is looking good. A brilliant partnership between Humayun and Iqbal Ali Shah Rizvi. I think one of the partnership that set the foundation so far for the Karachi Lawyers in terms of batting. And Mandeep is introduced into the attack. Another spinner brought into the game in these last 4 overs. Left that one right outside the off stump. Plays it down the ground and will pick up a single. Rahman and Hanif Shahzad, they are doing what they have been told by the dressing room, rotate the strike. They have taken the responsibility of playing some big strokes in those previous overs, but also playing cautiously.
And the amount of chances that they have given has been going down significantly.
Well fielded their shot mid-wicket, and of course it's the man of the moment for Delhi Giants, Shikhar Chaudhary, who was brilliant with the ball. Misses that one.
Two more deliveries to go in this over. Comes down the track and dispatches it. Is there a fielder down there?
He's going to have to watch it sail over
Absolutely
his
no
head.
chance for him.
That's a big hit, and just when we said they are playing cautiously, Hanif Shahzad brings it down. Brings something right out of his pocket. He was storing that for a while.
Your point was absolutely correct, Minu. They have been playing cautiously as well as taking aggressive strokes, just like that one. Absolutely dispatched.
This time
And there's
goes
protection, but falls short.
They're happy with the single.
And that would be the end of the 17th over. 1-2-7 for the loss of 4. Those are
Far.
That was a good effort though, running behind, backwards, judging that ball constantly and getting a safe hand on it.
Varun ball in the 18th over. An economical ball, I would say. An economical over. Oh, that's another misfield. That should have been stopped. I don't think it will run away to the boundary, but yeah, you could have cut up some good runs, and that they're coming back for 3. Oh no!
Another costly
Another-
mistake by the wicketkeeper. He will regret that for the rest of the morning.
Like I said, these mistakes, it's actually taking away their chance of securing a semi-final spot. Of course, you can clearly see, yeah, he could have done more to prevent that, but the mistake from the keeper, I mean, you cannot make any excuses for that. Of course not. He was He was out of a mile. The batsman, of course, comes down the track, doesn't connect it properly, but he's going to take a single. There were plenty of mistakes. I mean, if they keep on going like this, then Karachi, I would
There's
say,
a real threat for them, for the Delhi Giants to qualify for the semi-finals, I would say, if they keep on making these sorts of mistakes.
they need to qualify with a higher net run rate as well. So they need to keep that in mind. Comes down the track, and this time lofted it over the offside. And I would say a rather decent effort there by the fielder.
Manages to limit them with just a couple.
But Shahzad is playing
was
some
there just a
aggressive
single?
strokes.
That was a single.
They know that they only have like 2.5 overs left in this game.
Showing the right intent.
Once again, placed long on, and will take another single. So plenty of contributors for Karachi Lawyers in their batting innings. We saw Alisha Rizvi, Humayun, and now it's Hanif Shahzad also contributing with 30 runs so far.
Oh,
that's
another attempt, and that time the wicket keeper is successful.
Varun gets his reward for brilliant bowling, I would say. A consistent line and length were bowled.
And
to the
strategic
batsman.
thinking by Varun as well. He knew that the batsman would come down the track to get close to the delivery. But that time, makes no mistake.
And of course, the danger man, Hanif, who has to walk back. No one seems to go past 40s here, Farviz. But I would say it's a brilliant innings by him. Try to help the innings to cruise along well. And the Delhi Giants know they still have a chance to finish this game on a high note, even though the start was not the one they were expecting to get.
Varun with his last delivery of his last over. 13 more deliveries to go in this inning. Plays it on the leg side, but there is protection on the deep. He will get a hang of it. That was the end of the 18th over. The Karachi Lawyers are standing at a score of 134 for a loss of 5 wickets. As you can see, the last run. Decent effort by the fielder at the line.
Leg. Correct, that's the leg, Sam. For left hand, right hand. For right hand, right hand. Hold on, right around you.
That's in the air, but falls safe.
Another couple of runs for the Karachi Lawyers, only 2 overs. Left in the innings.
Rahman, the set batsman on strike. Take a wild guess, Mindu. What do you think the scoreline would be at the end of this inning?
Oh, that's high in the air. Long on.
Once again. He could have
dived forward, I would say. Well, coming back into your question, Parvez, I would say, looking at the score right now in this over, I think they have potential of reaching 145 runs or maybe 150, but who knows if they can go past that. Wide.
An extremely wide delivery on that occasion.
No question about that. Or plays it through the leg side.
Once again.
It was actually crunched.
Yeah, it was a powerful hit on the onside, but the classic T20 field doing its magic, giving protection in all the areas of the ground.
Well, I would say if he wants to get a boundary or maximum, then maximum is the only option right now, since almost all
Once
the fielders.
again does the mistake.
Just when I said
Rehman, desperation for a boundary.
Just when I said they need to go over the top, he
And
was
he
trying
tried to do what you said, and desperately he failed. Look at a replay once again of it. He came miles down the track, didn't have enough reaction time to get back to safety.
Well, I think this is a great comeback by the Delhi Giants. So far, they are conquering the last few overs, trying to get back into the game. They still have an opportunity for Viz to chase down the total that will be set by the Karachi Lawyers, considering the performance that they showed against Mumbai in the previous game.
Correct, that's Alexa. Bola kami right now,
And it's a slight outside edge there, but it will run away to the boundary, I would say. Another boundary for the Karachi Lawyers just when they lost a wicket. They are trying to get that run rate ticking in these last few overs and get a good respectable total on the board. Of course, only one delivery left in this over.
They are getting closer and closer to that 150 milestone. They've still got 7 more deliveries to go to get their target of beating that 150 mark, which could be a huge pressure for the Delhi Giants.
This time through the leg side. There's protection out there in the deep, and they're going to settle for the single. So that's the end of the over. The final over to come in this innings, ladies and gentlemen. Karachi Lawyers are 143 for 6. Of course, these were the missed opportunities by the Delhi Giants. If they had taken that Furvies, I would say this innings would have been closed very soon. Couple of chances there, and of course.
And also the situation could have been extremely different for the Karachi Lawyers.
Of course, the run-out chance that was completely fumbled by the wicket-keeper of the Delhi Giants. Clearly, you can see that.
The final miss. Only if he had made a bit more ground, he could have made it. But now, for the last over, Jaidesh has been introduced to the bowling attack.
Well, he's been brought into the attack. He's been brought to finish this innings on a height.
His economy has not been the best in this inning so far, but
the captain is keeping his faith on him.
Here we go, the first delivery of the last over. Tries to play it on the onside, but doesn't quite get the connection. But they will get a quick single, but the fielder was going for the direct hit, but apparently missed it completely. Jaidesh is not happy about that.
Of course, I think he should have done a lot more job at mid-wicket there, but he was straight away going for the direct hit.
He should have just played at the ball to Jaidesh. Like, that extremely hard throw was not necessary at all in that occasion.
Another missed chance. If Jaidesh was actually in the line of the throw, then he would have actually gotten injured. Then that would have been another setback for the Delhi Giants.
Costly setback.
Plays it down the ground. This time it's high in the air. Jaidesh is running out under it. And it falls between just 4 fielders. No communication whatsoever. But I think it was actually hard for them to cover the ground. But
especially for Jaidesh, because he just delivered the ball and he came running down the ground once again.
he was
right
trying to take the matters into his own hands, because the fielding haven't been on point today. And that actually cost them a lot. This is one of the biggest scores that has been set by the teams participating in this tournament so far. This time he plays the same shot and another missed chance, and this might go to the boundary, and yes it will.
Just touches the boundary.
The mistakes are continuing to happen, and Delhi Giants, I mean, I actually don't have any words to explain the amount of frustration they would be having in their minds right now.
Especially their supporters, because this game is extremely vital for them, and their effort in the field has been extremely poor.
You always have to back your bowlers, Parviz. I mean,
for me it looked like it touched the boundary.
It actually did.
Yeah, it did, but I think they are referring to the TV umpire for the confirmation.
Yes, that's a confirmation there by the TV umpire to the on-field umpire.
I thought there was an error with my eyesight, but
well, I can recommend you a shop to check your eyes.
Azad.
Mrs.
A
Evan.
good delivery on the offside. Very close by to becoming a wide, but that line is extremely hard for the batsman to get
of course,
some connection.
Perfect length and line to bowl to a batsman in these last few overs. Of course, the last few deliveries of this over, since this is the final one, the umpire was happy that it was not a wide. Plays it down the ground, and will it go to the boundary, Parviz? And yes, it will. Another boundary, and Azad is hammering the ball around the park and hammering Jaidesh all over the ground here.
That's been a nightmare for Jaidesh so far in this morning. Brilliant shot down the ground. Absolutely no chance. The two fielders on long on and long off can just stand and look at the ball raise away for the boundary.
Very expensive overs bowled by him, and this is actually expensive as well. The final delivery, and this time will it be taken? And that's a brilliant catch.
Whoa.
Well,
that was an absolute screamer.
Well, that's a good catch to sum it all up. Another wicket goes to Jaidesh, but actually 11 runs coming from this over. 11 runs in a final over, that means those are crucial runs.
Look at the attempt once again.
He was running back. That's never easy.
Well.
If all the 11 players in the field showed that kind of effort in those previous mistakes, then I would say.
I mean, they missed all the sitters, and absolutely in the last delivery, he grabs onto that screamer.
Well, irrespective of the catch, this has been a brilliant total set by the Karachi Lawyers. 154 runs for just 6 wickets fallen down. One of the biggest totals that have been set so far in this tournament. Like I said before, it's going to be a challenging one. It's not the typical 120s and 130s that we had seen teams chasing down. This is much more than that.
But well, the Delhi Giants certainly do have that depth in their batting lineup to put up a fair challenge against them in
Of
the
course,
second inning.
Jaidesh, Shubhendu, two batters who performed well in those previous games.
And in the game against Mumbai, the entire top order were in figures, more than 25. And they did pretty well. So they are in form. They redeemed themselves. And
Of course,
these
this
are
is
the
the
highlights.
innings. This is the innings so far. This was the innings of the Karachi Lawyers here. Aggressive strokes by them. They were timing the gaps perfectly, and of course lofting it over the fielders whenever it was necessary for them to do so. And this was the fall of the first wicket. Cheeky shots were also implemented in order to get some runs. And it was all about the Karachi Lawyers and their boundaries. And Madhav, a bamboozle of a delivery to knock the stumps of the batsman there. A lot of power hitting came out of the bats of the Karachi Lawyers. Another brilliant catch taken at point. And a beautiful catch here by the Delhi Giants. At some points, I would say the innings so far has been dominated by the Karachi Lawyers. There were plenty of mistakes made by the Delhi Giants fielders, and of course sometimes the keeper himself. A good stump in there. Two stumpings from Varun and Mandeep down the ground. And of course this was the final catch of the innings, a brilliant one. A brilliant way to finish it all out for the Delhi Giants, and ends it on a high note. A happy ending, I would say. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the total that's been set for the Delhi Giants, 155 runs. Stay tuned with us as we see the response from the Delhi Giants.
Welcome back after that short break. I have two star performers here with me after that, let's call it spellbounding set of innings. Let's ask the key performer here. What do you have to say? You scored 38 beautiful runs. How does that feel? You've given them a tough fight. You need to get to the semis. What are your thoughts right now?
We have nothing to lose in the match. We must have to play better cricket to finish well before going to back home in a quite winning manner.
Hanif, आपको पता है that the batting team for Delhi is quite strong, right? How are you planning to come up with a strategy to get rid of that?
पिच अच्छी नहीं है बैटिंग के लिए, लेकिन हमने इसीलिए थोड़ा सा बेहतर कुछ करने की कोशिश की है. इस ग्राउंड में एवरेज स्कोर जो है 140 अराउंड है और वी हैव स्कोर्ड अराउंड 150 समथिंग. तो इंशाल्लाह हम इनको रोक लेंगे इस स्कोर पे और कोशिश करेंगे कि रिस्ट्रिक्ट करें इनको और मैच जो है विन करके अपना टूर्नामेंट जो है इख्तिताम अच्छा करें.
आप इतने कॉन्फिडेंस नजर आ रहे हो. Let's find out here from Shikhar. Shikhar, look at that confidence. Look at that score. In the beginning, we were thinking, okay, is that going to really happen? Is it going to be an easy fight? Is it going to be a difficult fight? What are your emotions right now?
I think it's going to be easy chase for us because we have a strong batting lineup. Plus, we must have stopped them around 110 or 120, although we dropped 7-8 catches. But we'll try to do better in batting and we'll chase down in minimum overs we can.
We know you have a strong batting team, but who have you pinned your hopes highest on?
Shubhendu Bhai is a good batter and Aditya and Mini Dangi. We have a strong batting lineup.
All right, they seem very confident. Now back to the commentators for the next half of this exciting match.
Thank you. Thank you, Shanu, for that lovely conversation with Hanif and Shikhar.
Well, of course, Parvez, it's been a brilliant start for the Karachi Lawyers in this game. I would say they have pretty much dominated in terms of their batting performance. Delhi Giants, they have a lot to do when they come out in the middle to give their response and chase down this total. So what matters the most is how they are going to hold their nerves in each over that they are going to face. So what do you have to say about the approach that they are going to have to take from the start itself?
Well, Shikhar himself was pretty confident about his batting lineup. They have succeeded in chasing a total yesterday against Mumbai. Everybody equally contributed, but we'll have to see what happens here. If they go for the loss, it's gonna be the run rates that's gonna be on dependence. So we will see what happens with the progression of the second inning of this game.
Well, teams have walked out in the middle as well. And in a few minutes, we'll see the two batters who are going to open for the Delhi Giants. I think Shubhendu will come out for sure for the Giants. And you can clearly see Ali Lakhani for Karachi Lawyers. Continuing the bowling, starting off the bowling attack. They are pretty confident with the target that they have to defend. All credits should be gone to the three batters who contributed very efficiently to their scorecard. Humayun.
And the fact about Ali Lakhani is that he is an extremely prominent lawyer currently in Pakistan. And his entire generation comes from lawyers, like four links behind his fathers. He is a master of his craft, I would say.
Of course, if he has actually mastered the game of cricket, then he's a dangerous player. Along with the knowledge he possesses through the career that he's actually administrating now.
Well, the career of being a lawyer requires a lot of logical thinking, and cricket is a game of logic most of the time.
And the first delivery, it's high in the air. The fielder's coming under it, but completely misjudged the catch.
It is hard to catch judge a catch in these sorts of extremely hot atmospheres and blazing sun shining over you.
And he was actually running back.
Running backwards, yes. So that should have been extremely challenging for him.
So we got the clear idea of the intent the Delhi Giants have from the first delivery itself. They're not going to play cautiously, because if they do, they'll try to play cautiously, but I think they'll try to reduce the number of dot balls in their innings and try to get every possible run they can from every ball that will be bowled to them.
A solid delivery on the off
And
by
no-
Ali Lakhani.
No single will be taken. The striker in batsman was more comfortable in taking it, but the non-striker sends him back to his safe zone. So Ali Lakhani, I think not just him, I think the bowling attack has a huge responsibility on their shoulders to defend this target. It's a pretty, I would say, a pretty respectable and a pretty high target that they have set for the Giants. And this time they'll again a dot ball, so two dot balls in consecutive deliveries. Madhav is actually wanting to cross the wickets and go to the non-strikers end and take that single, but unable to do so. The fielders on the offside are packed in to stop those singles. But Shubhendu is a batsman who can take the game away from you, and this time comfortably take the single and gets to Shubhendu on strike. So Lakhani, what will he do against an aggressive batsman? So what should he do, Farviz, when you are bowling to an aggressive batsman like Shubhendu, and knowing that he has the power and the skill to go over the top at any time?
Well, in here, Minidu, in this sort of a situation, I would say sticking to the exact same approach is not the way to go against aggressive batsmen, because if they get too comfortable with your approach, they will absolutely dispatch it over the boundary line. So I would say with control, indeed with control, you have to switch things up a bit, make the deliveries unpredictable against him.
Or this time, like just when we said he's an aggressive batsman and he scores, of course, the fielder thought he's actually within the ground itself, but unfortunately he had already crossed the boundary line and he goes for a maximum. Just when we said this man is an aggressive player, aggressive batter, he's going to punish every delivery he can.
Even yesterday, the Delhi Giants absolutely dominated the power play, and that was one of the main reasons why they could close on in the gap of the target and the number of balls earlier on.
Another edge, another outside edge, and it's a boundary. So the over was going pretty well, but these last two deliveries ruined everything for Lakhani and his dream start to his spell. So the first over is over. Delhi Giants are 12 for no loss.
That was not a bad delivery either. It was on the off. And as I said before, they should look to switch things up, because wherever you ball the delivery,
well, luck doesn't favor everyone at every time.
I don't think the bowler should be discouraged with that boundary, though. It was not his mistake at all.
Well, for is one thing I saw from Lakhani's run-up. He starts off very quickly, and in those last few steps, he tries to slow down his pace. Do you know the reason for that?
Well, I mean, a lot of bowlers internationally as well have very peculiar run-ups. Bumrah, as the best example taken, he has a more of a hoppy run-up and sends in fireballs at 145 kilometers per hour. So I think he's comfortable with his run-up, with the consistency that he has shown throughout this tournament. I think even though it is a bit uncommon, I think it works well for him.
Whatever suits you the most, it will help you get the results that you are expecting to get. Of course, it's Hassan Mirza, another brilliant spin bowler for the Karachi Lawyers. Was pretty prominent in the game against Mumbai, a left-arm orthodox bowler. This time, a single has been taken by Madhav. So Madhav's intent is clear, getting Shubhendu on strike so that he can tackle the majority of the bowlers that they are going to face.
Well, I think, Minidu, I might know the way to get Madhav out, because he constantly tries to get those singles to get Shubhendu back on strike. Whereas in the last delivery you saw, even though it was a straight delivery, he takes his leg across the field, across the wicket.
Oh, and again, shot. punished it. Did it go all the way? Yes, it did. The Delhi Giants are cruising along well. This man, you need to send him back if you want to have a chance of winning this game.
4 deliveries and 17 runs. Wow.
Last game, I think not the last game against Titans, 49 runs from just 19 deliveries. Once again, goes down the ground. And of course,
the fielder at long on can only watch it sail over his head all the way for a maximum.
2 back-to-back maximums for Shubhendu. So Madhav did his part, and Shubhendu says, "Well, don't worry, mate. I'll take care of everything from here." So Mirza, who was pretty much economical in those previous games when he started off his spell, is now under pressure to bowl some decent deliveries. Cautiously played by Shubhendu. I admire that. Even though the ball was pretty much on the leg side, didn't try to play those rash shots that could have costed him his wicket. Once again, goes down the ground. And it's another maximum. already 19 runs coming from this over. I think by the looks of it, he'll try to finish off the game before the 10 overs have even passed.
And also, if they keep on going throughout this tournament, if they get this victory in this game, he probably has a big chance of running for the best batsman of the tournament as well. So far, he is the most leading run scorer of the tournament.
Definitely. I mean, like I said before, they need a higher net run rate.
The strike rate, Minidu, it's absolutely insane by this man.
Like I said before, they need a higher net run rate. So, if possible, they need to finish off the target before they go on into those late overs. Try to finish it off as quickly as possible in order to get that net run rate high. Swept it that one at that time, so mid-wicket was in place. So the dressing rooms are actually shouting.
The dressing rooms are absolutely excited about this man's approach of chasing the target. It's the end of the second over. For the loss of 0 wickets, the Delhi Giants stand at a scoreline of 31.
So almost 15 runs have been scored in over for this. So this is a brilliant start. This is a start every batsman dreams of and every team dreams of as well whenever you're coming in the T20 format. Well, Lakhani is under pressure as well to bowl an economical over after that expensive over of Hassan Mirza. So these types of pressurizing situations will occur, and you will obviously get pressurized because of the poor performance of the other bowlers.
Going into the third over now, the Delhi Giants and Karachi Lawyers. Still, we cannot quite say about a resolution guess for this game.
Yeah, definitely. At any point of time, anyone can come up on top. Still, we're pretty much unsure of the conclusion. This time, Madhav plays it through the leg side.
Once again, rotating the strike, Minidu, doing what he does the best.
Well,
getting Shubhendu back on strike.
He's got another 4 deliveries.
5 deliveries. Well. Is this going to be one of those exciting overs to watch, or is there going to be a loss of wicket? We'll see.
The intent is pretty much clear, and the attitude is pretty much clear. There's no doubt about that. So if you're bowling to Shubhendu, an aggressive batsman like him, what would you do to the field settings inside this power play?
Inside this power play, that's a very good point you pointed out, Minidu, because it's extremely hard to think of an approach. I would probably, being a left-arm fast bowler, I would come, once again, carved it on the offside. That will raise away for another boundary.
There's no stopping this man. He's continuing to pick up those boundaries and maximums. Getting back into your answer, Farbis?
Yes, I would come across, around the wicket for Shubhendu with probably a deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg in place, and a mid-on, a bit circle towards the mid-wicket region, and since I'm coming around the wicket, I would try to go a bit short for this man. I know I can be a bit expensive if I miss the length by an inch. He could dispatch me all the way out of the park if I miss that one specific sweet spot of a bouncer. But I think that is the way to go against him.
Oh, that's brilliantly played. This time another boundary, so he's trying to finish it off quickly. Already 40 runs coming from him from the 2.5 overs that has been bowled. Shubhendu, he's in the mood tonight. Apologies. So far, it hasn't been tonight either. Yet, he's going to have some fun celebrating this performance.
Well, I would say he's setting up the mood for the dressing room for tonight to enjoy. Quite early to say that, but the intent is clear. The dressing room looks ecstatic from our angle.
Well, Lakan is under immense pressure right now. 9 runs from the first 3 deliveries he bowled.
This is unbelievable amount of pressure.
Yeah, not to forget the previous over that was bowled. 19 runs coming from it. Misses that.
Well done from the wicketkeeper behind the wickets.
Not a good delivery, but lucky there by. It's actually luck coming into factor there for Shubhendu. Otherwise, it would because of that inside edge.
With Shubhendu's stance and his weight of the body falling in front of his body, and I would say a quick yorker could be effective.
He's
against
pretty
him.
keen on extending his arms, not trying to place the foot in the general direction
Absolutely
where the
not.
ball is being bowled from.
You cannot go good length against this man.
Oh,
that could have been a no ball.
That's a no ball. No ball has been called. And it's a free hit coming up for Rees. And this is the worst possible start Karachi Lawyers would have even not expected to get. Of course, looking at the no ball, yeah, that's
Definitely
clearly
a no
above
ball.
the hip
Above the
level.
best.
Then Kampai doesn't hesitate in giving that a no ball. A dangerous delivery by Lakhani, I would say. Once again, this time crunched. And it goes over the line. Another maximum.
I think the best view of this entire ground is held by Madhav at the non-striker's end.
Definitely.
With the first ball itself, he just rotates the strike, and Shubhendu takes over the batting.
I'm pretty sure he's wondering, I think I don't need to put some muscle in this game today.
He just needs to place the ball correct and get Shubhendu on strike.
Get this man on strike. He's already 43 runs from just 13 deliveries.
With just 13 deliveries, can you believe it?
Oh, once again, crunched.
Another maximum.
Is that another maximum? Yes, it is.
Well, what a show put up by the Delhi Giants here at the Colts. That was a clean hit. It doesn't get cleaner than that. What a way to end the over off. Is at 49 with just 14 deliveries faced, Minidu.
This is a batsman of the tournament, I would say. A prominent one in the making in this tournament. He showed his performance in those previous games. Just absolute, I would say, a brute of a player.
What a show he's putting up so far.
So Madhav is on strike once again.
They are barely halfway through the power play and they've already gotten to the 50 run milestone.
A half-century partnership in the opening partnership itself.
It took less than 20 deliveries for them to close up on the margin between the target and the amount of balls. Now it's 102 with 102 balls to go. Wow.
Well, of course, Madhav is on strike, so we clearly know what he's going to do in the first delivery of this over.
Well, I think to break the dynamic of the Delhi Giants, I think the Karachi Lawyers should target to get Madhav out. Because that would mess up Shubhendu a bit. A bit, I would say.
A bit, yeah,
of
course. Of course, looking at this man's stats.
Strike rate is standing at 252. What a staggering performance.
Just an absolute class of a player, I would say. a player, I would say, destined to play in a format like this.
He was born to be a T20 cricketer. Maybe born to be a lawyer, but he does play T20 cricket very good as well.
And Madhav once again giving the strike to Shubhendu. Oh, that's another misfield, but will they come back for two? And yes, they will.
Back up.
Surprisingly, they do.
Yeah, of course.
Putting Madhav back on strike.
I think yes, if you put Shubhendu too much on strike, then there's a high possibility that
he might do a
somewhere
mistake,
on the line there will be a dismissal in his that is in his destiny. But Madhav, he's taking those runs even though he wants to get Shubhendu on strike.
Well, Madhav put out a brilliant performance against Mumbai yesterday in the morning. So he's in good form as well. Wide
That's
ball
good.
in that occasion. Very wide.
Well, Hanif Shahzad, he's the new bowler introduced, replacing Hassan Mirza from his end. Well, of course, for Rahman Malik, the captain of the Karachi Lawyers, it's huge pressure. I'm pretty sure when they walked out into the middle, they were pretty much confident. They were pretty much confident of the target they had set, but now, delivery by delivery, it's starting to fade away, the confidence. It's a foolish delivery.
Attempts for that check drive, but the bowler makes sure there was no run off of it.
You need these kind of deliveries, of course, and like you said before, Farviz, you need Madhav to actually be at one end and try to take the strike. You need to actually tighten the noose around him.
You should not let him free his arms and rotate the strike, because that happens.
Of course, the man at the other end is actually waiting desperately to get on
the
strike.
danger man comes on strike if that happens, and more dispatchments will be seen.
Inform to all players. All को स्वेटिंग से करने हैं. Green या 4 balls come.
So it's Hanif Shahzad. A full toss, a low full toss, I would say, and it will run away to the boundary. So it's Madhav joining the party now. He was feeling left out. And this time I would say it's not a really aggressive stroke, but the placement was the reason for him to get that boundary.
It was pinpoint placement. He knew who was where and absolutely raised away for the boundary. Well done.
Good cricketing awareness there by Madhav. Shuminder, I'm pretty sure he's wondering, when will you get me on strike, mate?
I think this over looks like Madhav's over so far.
Yeah, it's Madhav's over. So far, the previous overs have been Shubhendu's. Shot.
Probably a wide. Oh, it's not a wide.
Well, he was trying to place the uppercut for that short delivery, but I'm pretty sure he left it out for a particular reason. The third man was actually in place. There could have been a chance where he couldn't make connections with the ball properly, and it would have gone high in the air for him to get dismissed.
The Delhi Giants batsman having the correct intent, Benidu here, chasing down the target of 150 odds.
And no single will be taken. Shubhendu was desperate to get on strike.
A very firm and a loud call from Madhav there.
Yeah, definitely. Even we heard the sound of his call to the commentary booth as well.
That is the secret of
good communication.
Good communication between two batsmen. You have to be loud and you have to be firm with what you are trying to do. You can't be you can't be having a fluctuating mind about whether you're going to take the run or whether you're going to just avoid it. You just have to be sticking to a firm decision. The last ball of this over.
That's a wide.
That's going to be another wide.
So
he's going to have to bowl it again.
It's not going to be the last delivery of the over.
The bowler was devastated with that decision. being a wide, he just wanted to end the over.
Yeah, from this angle, it clearly looks like a wide. Good decision there by the umpires.
One.
And they'll take the single, so Madhav will be on strike in the next over as well. So it's 4 overs gone, and Delhi Giants are just hammering the power play. They're 61 for no loss. So Furbies, Delhi Giants faced Colombo Titans in their first game of this tournament. Even in that game, Shuvendu was actually hammering the bowlers around the park. He scored 49 runs, as I remember, from just 19 deliveries. But at one point, his dismissal changed the game around. So what do you think the Titan bowlers did differently, or the captain did differently with the field settings to get him dismissed?
Well, I think we need to, according to my analysis, the secret of getting Delhi Giants down on their knees when it comes to batting with their very deep lineup is to get the batsman, to get at least one of the batsmen out earlier on in the inning. Because Shubhendu, we know his intent, absolutely aggressive, he'll strike the ball over the park. But the Colombo Titans actually clipped off the batsman on the batsman Madhav earlier on in the inning. So from his end, the wicket started to flow away. So Shubhendu had to switch up his intents. He was thinking twice about going for aggressive strokes, because if he got out, there's no batsman to take responsibility. So that confusion and that fumble up in the mindset was the reason behind Shubhendu's wicket as well.
Of course, another beautiful boundary scored by Madhav. When Shubhendu on the other end is playing some aggressive strokes, this man is timing the gaps and
playing the textbook game.
Of course, the brilliant basic cover drive, I would say.
It's always nice to see a cover drive, Minidu.
It's not always about those loft shots.
Personally, Minidu, I would say I enjoy looking at a quality cover drive on the offside more than,
a short delivery, just open the face of the bat to go through the cover regions once again, but played it straight to the extra cover fielder there. So it's of course the danger man on strike, and he's been playing well the spinners in this morning, and couldn't make connection, and will take a single there. So that's 50 for Shubhendu.
A well-deserved half-century
What
for
a
him.
half-century by this man. His first half-century in this tournament, and of course
a long-awaited one, which we knew that would come definitely.
And we have to mention one of the quickest half-centuries from
The
just
quickest
15
so far in
the
this
quickest.
tournament.
From just 15 deliveries, his half-century game. That's almost, I would say, 2.5 overs played. That's a shout, and that's given, of course. And Azad gets the breakthrough. And Madhav have to take the long walk back. He was doing pretty accurately the plan that he has implemented. Tried to retrieve the strike, tried to take on the game whenever he could. But this delivery was a brilliant one, I would say.
If you could remember, I mentioned the exact same strategy against Madhav in the beginning of the inning. He brings the leg across the wicket to put Shubhendu back on strike, and exactly Azad does that, and my strategy works.
What I actually saw from him was that he was always trying to play against the spin. Don't you think?
Exactly. He was desperately trying to look for those gaps to grasp all the wickets that he can, to grasp all the singles that he can. But that time, Azad strikes, and that's one down for the Delhi Giants.
One more wicket, boys. One more wicket. Left pick. Left pick.
Hammers is on the onside, but there's protection that time.
Of course, a new batsman in, Vinod. Oh,
Timed well on the offside. Through the gap, piercing the fielders. Raised away for a boundary. What a shot that is.
Well, of course, the new batsman. Or was it played by Shubhendu? Yes, of course, it's been played by him.
Of course, it was Shubhendu.
Yes, there's no question about that. But the first time I saw him playing a shot through the gaps.
Through the
along
gaps,
the ground.
going to the back foot, beautifully driving it away.
Of course, this was a brilliant half century by the man in form for the Delhi Giants at the moment, Shubhendu. Just look at those shots, Farveez. I mean, connected right from the middle of the bat. If you're doing it consecutively, you gotta be a special player, don't you think?
Yeah, instead of just giving off chances, he just absolutely plays them
What an
right
innings.
right where he wants them to play.
Of course, the new batsman in Vinod Dangi. I would say still haven't actually shown his skills in terms of batting yet, but who knows what could happen.
This might be his inning. I mean, it's already Shubhendu's inning, of course, but he might get a piece of the cake as well.
So this is plays it down the ground, plays it mid off, but no single will be taken. He was actually very keen on taking that single. 82 runs needed from just 90 deliveries for Rees. I mean, they just reduced that gap between the number of deliveries and the number of runs that are available. I mean, so far, it's the last over of the power play. 73 runs from just 36 deliveries if they're in the power play.
Probably the best power play from the batsman's perspective throughout this
Probably the
tournament.
best power play I have ever seen in a while. Oh, that's a shot. That is the delivery, I would say, that is made to dismiss him. If actually I would say if short third man or a slip cordon was in place, then that would have been another nail in the coffin for the Karachi lawyers. Clearly.
He was not wearing a helmet either. Wow. I think he should wear one.
Yeah, he's actually I think he's calling for the helmet. Right after that delivery, yeah, of course. He's not going to take that risk.
Well, the bowler definitely humbled him there.
Well, he's very keen on playing those other games as well, so he doesn't want to risk of getting injured by a delivery like that. Oh, brilliant.
That missed his head with inches to spare.
Of course, I mean, it was involuntary. He just put his bat in the way of the ball.
He got extremely lucky in that occasion.
You know, I have only one weapon, that is bouncer.
With more protection on him. Pretty sure more aggressive strokes are on the way.
Yeah, please. My setting is going dry.
82 runs off of 88 balls, not a hard target for them, and they've got 9 more wickets in their pockets. So,
well, if they do the basics right and doesn't take on the pressure that much and try to try to find solutions whenever they are in trouble, then I would say pretty much the game is on their hands. I think one of the reasons why they're playing like this in the first 6 overs itself because of the higher net run rate they need to secure a spot. And right now, I would say if they continue like this, then the semi-final spot is clearly secured. But who knows how the rest of the games would go. They might have to depend on the results of those other games as well. And this time down the ground.
Oh, what a beautiful shot that is.
Just when we missed the boundaries and the maximums coming out of his bat, he just surprised us all of a sudden. This time played down the ground. Like I said, this is of course... apologies ladies and gentlemen, that's not Shubhendu. It's Vinod, the new man in, and...
clean hit.
By the looks of it, he's a power hitter as well. A lawful toss, and I think that's another boundary. So yes, of course it's another boundary. Back-to-back boundaries for the Delhi Giants, and the ending of the power play on a brilliant note. There's another 2 deliveries left, so 2 sixes, would you expect?
If they hit 2 sixes, this would be the best power play of a T20 game I've ever witnessed.
Definitely. I mean, you can't say it's an amateur game as well because these are veterans of this game.
Absolutely veterans.
The players who dominated their golden days back when they are playing cricket for their respective regions and schools, etc.
Couldn't quite gap it well. Plays it straight towards extra covers.
The last delivery to be bowled in this power play, and I mean, there's no doubt the power play has gone in the way of Delhi Giants by a mile. The Karachi Lawyers, they were never in the game inside this power play. Right when they took the wicket, they thought they might have another chance, but Delhi Giants, they were never on the back foot, and this time also lofted it. A brilliant way to end off the power play. And it's 85 for 1 as they end it all out. And it's Vinod who is continuing where Shubhendu left off. But Shubhendu is still in the crease. I would say he's doing what Madhav left off.
That was the correction.
Of course, the umpire indicating that's the end of the power play.
Well, now with the protective field, you can go with 5 in the deep. What do you think would be the approach from the Karachi Lawyers against Delhi Giants would be, Minindu?
Well, now they are actually introducing their spinners. Azhar is coming into the attack. The man who took the first wicket, the wicket of Madhav, with a brilliant delivery for an LBW. So I would say with the field settings being the restrictions for the field settings being removed, I would say they would try to introduce the spinners more often. I mean, they got a good spin arsenal, Karachi Lawyers. They just couldn't utilize them properly in that power play. They couldn't take the risk of bowling spinners to Shubhendu, who was brilliantly whacking them around the park. And that's gone all the way. Another maximum. By the looks of it, this game will most probably be over by 10 overs for Reese. I mean, who knows? It can be over before that even. This man, I mean, he's still in the crease. He's looking to get a century. by just 30 deliveries.
By the looks of it, he is able to get to his century because there's 64 more runs needed.
I think this is the reason why they didn't introduce spinners a lot in the power play. That's going to be wide. He came around the wicket, but of course, not really efficient. That delivery.
We know we'll come back to strike with that wide ball.
Another batsman who is on form from the first delivery itself. There's actually 2 runs costed them. The single that had been taken plus the wide that was bowled. So 62 runs from just 82 deliveries. Oh, timing it well, and that's another boundary. And we know he's doing a brilliant job as well. This over is turning out to be a nightmare for Azad and for Karachi Lawyers as well. Everything they're trying to do to get back themselves in the game, it's just going in vain because
That
of
was
these two
not a
batters
bad
in the
delivery
middle.
either, Minindu. That was not a bad delivery at all. It was just the brilliance of Vinod.
The awareness and the placement, I would say, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What will he do in this over? Oh, that's a wide. That wide has been called. He's going to have to bowl that again. So this over just
keeps getting extended.
Absolutely. So 12 runs, I would say, coming from this. Apologies, not just 12 runs, 13 runs coming from this over. And another 3 deliveries left to be bowled. The umpires are handling a tough match today, don't you think?
They are indeed.
Oh, this time lofted it. Didn't make a proper connection, but will be a couple of runs. Ali Lakhani there in the deep. So the 100-run milestone has been reached by the Delhi Giants. So another 50, apologies, I would say another 55 runs to be taken for them to secure a win and, of course, maybe secure a spot in the semi-finals.
Well, in the beginning, it looked like Karachi Lawyers were in the top upper hand of the game, but now the standpoint says an entirely different story.
Oh, once again, this time over fine leg, and it has gone all the way. It's Vinod this time. I cannot express in words how the dressing rooms are screaming around. Absolutely, the dressing rooms I mean, of course, the dressing room of the Delhi Giants.
Of course.
This is just unbelievable shot making. Just gone over the top, just cleared the boundary line. They are finding the right spot from the bat, don't you think?
Well, the Colombo Titans capitalized the game by taking all the wickets earlier on.
From the other end.
From the other end. Well.
Oh, that will be another wide, of course.
That was, of course, a wide. That's been an extremely expensive over so far.
So far, Faris, I calculated it's 21 runs.
Well.
This is, I think, the
Keep
last delivery of the
calculating.
over, but another single will be taken, so 22 runs coming from it. Oh, I think there's a delivery left. Oh, no. That's the end of the over there, ladies and gentlemen. So the 7th over is gone. The first over bowled right after the power play ended, and it has gone for...
Still the dynamic is up for the Delhi Giants.
Yeah, it has gone for just 22 runs.
And as the scoreline indicates, it's 108 for 1.
Of course, this is a partnership Shubhendu has made with the new batsman. We know 40 runs from just 15 deliveries. I mean, it's just completely unbelievable, Farviz. I mean, he got a good partnership with Madhav, and now he's doing the same thing with Vinod.
Well, the other teams who have encounters against Delhi Giants will have a huge discussion tonight about designing strategies against their extremely prominent batting lineup.
Well, Titans are glad that they finished off the game.
Titans would be very glad that they could whack them off right in the first game. The Titans found their form after that game.
So far, I think Delhi Giants' side who you need to watch out for, alongside many others. I would say so far. I think the teams that I have pretty much noticed because of the performance: Colombo Titans, Lahore Lawyers, and of course the Delhi Giants. They have shown their class in each game. Of course, the Delhi Giants, they didn't get the proper start for this tournament, but now in those last two games they're pretty much showing what they can do. But the bowling still has to be improved, I would say, and the
especially the
as well.
fielding, yes.
Backing up your bowlers, that has to be on point for.
If they had taken all those chances that they got in the first inning, the game would have been already over.
Definitely, of course. And Hassan Mirza. Oh, that's gone.
Oh.
That is gone. And that has cleared the boundary line once again. So this another really worst start for Hassan Mirza and for the Karachi Lawyers as well. Where Mirza has gone for 19 runs in his first over now.
That was mercilessly dispatched over the boundary. Vinod is looking at his half century now.
2 half centuries in one game. We haven't seen that kind of a performance yet by any batting side in this tournament.
32 in just 13 deliveries. The strike rate is immaculate from both the batsmen so far. Wow.
You should go and ask what they ate for breakfast today. I'm pretty sure a lot of team motivation and passion.
And a grabbed form from the previous game as well.
Yeah, definitely. The confidence.
They were pretty confident in the pre-innings discussion with a lovely host as well.
Oh, Mirza, he's under pressure. And this time plays it through the offside. And of course there's a misfield. But I don't think that would cost them boundary.
Yeah.
Another single have been taken. So Shubhendu is on strike. So these players, these batters, these two know what they should do. Another 40 runs required in order to take this game away from the Karachi Lawyers. And this time it is high in the air, didn't middle it properly, and it falls right in front of the field at deep cover point. And it will be a couple of runs once again. So Karachi Lawyers are doing the same mistakes that Giants did in the field. That should have been a diving effort. Plays it down the leg side and of course will pick up a single.
Well, at this point it's just a surf towards victory for the Delhi Giants if they kept on hanging on to their wickets.
Another loss for the Lawyers means they'll be participating, they'll have a proper chance of playing in the semi-final, but not for the cup, but for the plate. All the teams are looking to play for the cup, of course. Oh, that is gone. And that is the second dismissal for the Delhi Giants. And his force, the man in form, Shubhendu, is gone. Apologies, that was, we know, both are the same size, I would say. So there's all obviously a little bit of confusion out there. Of course,
smart bowling. The fielders don't seem to be ecstatic about that wicket though.
Yeah, they know the damage has already been done. It was slow through the air. Brilliant comeback by Hassan Mirza. He's a bowler that has the ability to turn things around, but didn't get quite the start he wanted.
Of course, the dressing room is giving the standing ovulation that he deserves.
If you don't give that, then you have done a crime.
Can do nothing but agree to that statement.
We'll have to see how the rest of the batters accompany Shubhendu and what the chemistry is going to be when they are playing out there in the middle.
Correct, that's an extra. Left arm ball coming round. One more to come.
Well, of course, the captain who has come out into the middle, Aditya. And of course, he's without his helmet. Pretty another good definition of what the intent is going to be. Just 37 runs needed from just 73 deliveries, and Aditya is on strike. Can he also contribute with a quick fire 30?
Only time will tell.
I don't think even time has been left for Reese, because the way things are going right now, they'll actually save time. So that's the end of the over. Hassan Mirza, he was whacked away for exactly 10 runs, but he came back smart with a wicket. So end of the over, 118 for 2.
कौन आएगा? वो धूप में रख दे, धूप में। मैडी, मैडी। हाँ, one more shot. Yes, sir. Yeah. Left arm around. Left arm around. Left arm.
Tried to go towards leg side, but completely missed that. So it's a new ball has been introduced into the attack. The spinners haven't been effective for the Lawyers today, getting quite the hammer in, but the two of them has been able to get the wickets, and it's gone down the ground, and it's covered the ground as well to go over the rope.
The fuck are you doing, yaar? Run for the fucking ball.
And of course the umpire gives a confirmation there, that's the maximum, and Aditya, he has taken some of the power juice taken by Vinod.
No problem, no problem.
There's of course sugar in the bloodstream. Full toss, and that's another boundary. So one bounce for this time it's Shubhendu.
Definitely not what Ali should be looking to do there.
Apologies, the first maximum was also scored by Shubhendu.
It's looking pretty close because they need only 27 runs, and Shubhendu is exactly 27 runs away from his century, so century might be...
Tried to come down the track, knew that it was impossible for him to loft it over the top, so it's another boundary. I thought that area was actually protected by a fielder, so wasn't really ecstatic by that shot.
That area was indeed covered, but that shot was exactly in the gap, so Shubhendu wouldn't mind running for that. Of course, we should have known by the looks of his run. He's just, jogging towards the non-striker's end.
So Vervis, it's another 14-run over. So far, I haven't seen a over that had finished with a single figure for since a while now.
I don't think there was such an over at all in this inning.
And of course, again, right from the middle of the bat, and it's gone all the way once again.
What is going on here at the Colts club? I have absolutely no idea. 83 off of 25 deliveries. Can you actually believe that? If you go home and tell this to your mother, Minindu, would she believe that this happened? Unless you show her the match recap?
Of course, if she doesn't believe, the only evidence I have is the live broadcast we are broadcasting right now. Once again comes down the track, over the head of the bowler, and it will run away to the boundary. So closing in on the required runs to a single figure. So that's also the end of the over. It's 142 for 2, and they just need another 13 runs. Just absolute brilliance by Shubhendu Farviz. I mean, just another 13 runs required for him to get to that century, and exactly what Delhi Giants need to get themselves that win. I'm pretty sure they'll try to finish the game off before the 10 overs are done, since they only have 13 runs and they have scored more runs, more than that in those previous overs as well.
9 overs completed. Amal. Swing bowler. Bowler ka right arm over to you.
Shubhendu Kaushik, 87 runs from just 26 deliveries. This man, he's been a story to tell for many cricketing fans. And the fans back home would be admiring this man's innings. That's going to be a wide and not a good start to the over at all.
Well, I bet the viewers are begging the current batsman to rotate the strike towards Shubhendu, because he is so close by to his century.
It's Najib Ajmal, a decent fast bowler for the Karachi Lawyers. So far 3 defeats in the group stage. Things are not looking good for them. They'll take a single and get Shubhendu on strike. So, oh well, they'll take the single and they'll come back for the 3, I suppose. And yes, of course, they'll come back for the 3. And Shubhendu is, of course, on strike. I thought they'll try to see the number of runs he can get. But
that is pure class shown by Shubhendu. He prioritizes his team's win instead of his ton, Minidu.
Yeah, definitely.
That is absolutely
He was the one
admirable.
actually called for those. He was the one who called for that second run as well. And Aditya was the one who called for the third in order to get him on strike.
Just 13 runs away from his ton with 9 more runs to go.
Can he change the game around? 2 maximums? Would it be enough? No, I don't think so.
I don't think that even that would just place him 1 run away from his ton. I mean, he would take the privilege to end the game though.
Well, a maximum 3 runs and a maximum.
Slight mix-up between the two batsmen, but Shubhendu's firm call plants the batsman at the non-striker's end. Once again at the same end.
This is, of course, I would say the batting performance of the tournament so far. And of course, I think there was a complete mix-up. Shubhendu was not willing to take the run. And there was complete mix-up there, but the non-strikers and batsman Aditya guides himself home safely. Of course, I mean, there was no call whatsoever to not to take that single. A little bit of a mistake there, but Shubhendu, of course, goes down the leg side. But there's protection out there in the deep, so he'll take the single. So it's getting impossible for him to score that dream century that he's looking for. I would say a deserving one, considering the way he has played these 29 deliveries for his side. But who knows, things can turn around pretty differently. And this time it's Aditya, it's high in the air, falls in front of the field at long on. Another single will be taken. So Shubhendu is on strike. Well, Aditya is trying to go over the top of long on to finish it off in style. Not to finish it off in style, but to actually get them close to those few runs they need to secure a win. And Shubhendu plays it down the ground as well. So now that is another boundary. So with that he moves to 92 runs. A maximum would end the game off for sure, but it would not guarantee him 100. But things are possible in a game of cricket. maybe who knows, the God must be saying this man deserves 100 today for his efforts and for his selflessness as well. So 10 overs gone for his 152 runs for 2 wickets.
Absolutely mind-blowing performance by the Delhi Giants, especially, to be honest. Most of the credits goes to Shubhendu Kaushik, who has scored 92 off of 30, who is still in strike. And then Madhav and Vinod supporting him from the other end with 15 and 33 runs respectively.
The batters have done a brilliant job, I would say. The bowling performance was not on point today.
Well, after their downfall at the first match against the Colombo Titans, they found themselves and they found their rhythm pretty well with a solid comeback in the second and third matches against Mumbai and now currently against Karachi.
For the bowling stats, it's a completely different story for the Karachi Warriors. They are, I'm pretty sure, absolutely devastated. The batters did a brilliant job. This obviously couldn't. And they'll take the single and of course misses the direct hit as well. And they'll come back with another run as well. So that's 2 runs. So the scores are leveled. Faris just another run away.
Scores are leveled with 59 balls and 8 more wickets to spare.
This is an absolute performance. Yeah, if you're looking at a net run rate, if you want a higher net run rate, this is how you should perform. I don't think they need to worry about the net run rate now.
If you want a higher net run rate for your team, call Shubhendu.
Definitely. And they'll take the single, and of course that's the victory. Delhi Giants, they end this game almost halfway through the innings. A brilliant performance by them. They came into the game knowing that they needed a victory, and they needed a victory with a brilliant net run rate, and they were able to do so at the end of the game.
Absolutely, Minidu. They needed a victory, they promised a victory, and they delivered a victory.
Karachi Lawyers, on the other hand, it's a different story. They thought that they had an opportunity to actually finish off the group stage on a high, but it's a completely different story. I'm pretty sure they're frustrated on how they had to sum up this group stage. Well, of course, Hanif is actually trying to test out the bat Shubhendu was playing with. Just seeing what kind of magic it possesses. Of course, you can. At the end of the game of cricket, this is the sportsmanship we are all looking forward to. And that is the man who was absolutely plumbed by Shubhendu Hasan Mirza.
That's the beauty of the game. In the end, it's all about the brotherhood that they hold.
Definitely, that's why they call this the gentleman's sport. But you gotta give.
And despite the fact that the Karachi Lawyers lost the game, they're all smiles as well.
Yeah, definitely, I would say they have showed a pretty good effort with the bat. Of course, with the ball, I think there were opportunities. I would say I don't think they were actually in the game with the ball. 2 wickets had fallen down, but at the same time, they were never really on their front foot, and the Delhi Giants didn't look to be on their back foots either. And of course, look at the scorecard. The story, I mean, this doesn't actually tell a story. You have to look at the way these batters took the shots and timed those gaps, and of course lofted it over the heads of the fielders and bowlers.
If you miss the action, watching the replay is the only way for you to get the actual feeling of what happened here in this venue.
Of course, it's the man who led from the front, Shubhendu, Madhav Narayan and Vinod Dangi, both actually supported Shubhendu in making his innings pretty much a fantastic one. You gotta admire the effort that they had put, especially Madhav, who rotated the strike often to get Shubhendu on strike inside the power play. That worked pretty efficiently. And Vinod, of course, playing a good cameo of 33 runs from just 15 deliveries, and Aditya accompanied Shubhendu to finish the game off in style for the Delhi Giants. If you take the bowling stats, definitely no economical bowler seems to appear for. Apologies, that's the bowling card of the Delhi Giants. But I think the bowling performance from both sides haven't been on point.
Now here it is, the bowling scorecard of the Karachi Lawyers, absolutely no economy under 10. How mind-blowing is that?
Yeah, definitely if you end a game within just 10 overs, I'm pretty sure the economy won't be under 10. It's Hassan Mirza and of course
Abid Zubair absolutely had a nightmare there with his only one over.
only two spinners were able to get those 2 wickets. The others just had to watch the ball sailing over their heads. Oh, this is the innings highlights. Up with those kind of game-changing events, as the Giants took the game by just 10 in just 10 overs and goes past the target set by the Karachi Lawyers for the loss of 2 wickets. Of course, the partnership made by the Delhi Giants batters, and one name is pretty much common. It's Shubhendra Kaushik, the opening batsman for the Delhi Giants.
The Colts ground will remember his name for a long time.
Definitely. Look at that. 68 run made with Madhav Narayan. A good partnership, I would say. A good partnership that had a good chemistry. And of course, we got Shanu on the ground. I'm pretty sure the man she's going to interview is none other than Shubhendra Kaushik. Over to you, Shanu.
And that's a wrap to the first match of day 3 of the South Asian Lawyers Cricket Cup 2023. And my goodness, what an energetic finish I have these fine gentlemen. Well, this is the primary culprit. Let's call him into the frame. Shubhashik, what what have you done?
This
What?
is a regular hearing for me.
He scored 92 runs in 30 balls. He's made it so difficult for them to finish. I'm sure you're on cloud nine right now.
Yes, this is a regular day for me. I just want to make sure that my team gonna win. That's my main purpose. That's it. Yeah.
How are you planning to celebrate?
I think first we have to check the next match. Then we'll make sure in the evening we'll celebrate, do something better, just to make sure we'll reach semi-final or not.
I'm sure you're going to reach the semi-finals. Well, let's ask here, what is your plan right now? You scored 36 runs. It was a tough fight. They didn't put on an easy game for you, I'm sure, but you still tried. What are your feelings right now?
Well, the Delhi teams absolutely outclass us in the batting. We made some mistakes, but we learned from our mistakes, and we hope to come back better in the next games, in the next tournament.
Unfortunately, you didn't make the cut, but I'm sure there is a lot of learning that you've taken from it. What was that?
Actually, we came on the 30th. We didn't had some practice games over here, and the weather is very humid. Way back in Karachi, the weather was very cool. So it's still, we will learn from our mistakes, and we'll get back because we have a World Cup coming up after a few months. So I hope that our team plays good in that tournament.
Oh, they definitely will. Well, we'll let the boys celebrate for now and rework on their strategies. But don't you go anywhere, because we have an exciting match that will join us from 2 p.m. We'll see you side there. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Shanu.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is the game those are the two games that we are going to look forward to in the day 3 of this South Asian Lawyers T20 tournament 2023. Mumbai taking on the Colombo Titans, and of course Bangalore Tuskers taking on the Dhaka Council. So two decisive games, don't you think, Farviz, in these coming few hours?
Well, the next game will definitely be decisive for Mumbai against Colombo, because Colombo are sitting in a comfortable position right now, and for Bangalore as well. The Bangalore team lost 2 games previously, and they will try to give up a tough fight against their opponents as well. So there's an action-packed evening. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned and have a great rest of the afternoon, I would say.
Wait for the live action, ladies and gentlemen, once again in the coming few hours.